Happy New Year, Venerable! What's up, everybody? It's your Kopi Uncle Nicky here.
Hello everyone, Happy New Year! I'm JK, the youngest boy in this class.
Good evening, everyone. Happy New Year to you, and to you. I'm the feisty superpower achiever, Kenny Tan.
Good afternoon, good evening, everyone, and welcome back. Last session, we discussed about infinite life. So for today's session, do what? I have a question for you all to think about. Do you want to be a human in your next life? And why? Please show your card. Nice. So, Uncle Nicky, do you want to share your answer?
Yes, Venerable. To begin with, my Kopi brothers really never thought of having a next life. However, I recently heard a discourse in my class. The common answers that I learned when one passes on to the next life are in the following. 1. There is only one life and there is no future life. 2. After death, one will head to the heavens or hell. 3. One will become a hungry ghost forever. After hearing all this, there is so much uncertainty about what is going to happen to each of our next life. I think it is better off becoming a human to be safe than to be reborn in the miserable realm to have to go through so much suffering. How sad. How sad.
Being born as a human has the capability to learn from a teacher who has the 10 qualities to guide us on understanding the Buddha's teaching step by step to secure a human life. I will go into the details later on. If you are keen to know more, what are the 10 qualities of a teacher? Please scan the QR code and check out episode 3. Moving on, how about you, JK?
Yes, Venerable. I will definitely want a human life and be the lucky one again in my next life. From Buddha's viewpoint, a human being has, through training, through practice, achieved what we call the highest enlightened mental state. So, through practice, a human being, through some sort of purification of one's own mental state, can eventually, finally become an enlightened one. Not forgetting that Buddha gained enlightenment in his human form. Another point I would like to mention is the fear of going to the miserable realms, as Uncle Nicky has said earlier. Recalling back to episode 2, Venerable shared with us that going to any of the 6 realms, if it is by random, the percentage of becoming human is very little. Furthermore, Venerable also uses the fact that there are only 7 billion people, while the ants population is already 7 quadrillion, meaning that it is 1 to 1 million chance of winning the lucky draw to become human. So the odds of going to those realms are very high, as Venerable mentioned before that there are still many more animals and there are much more hungry ghosts than animals, and even more hell beings than hungry ghosts. How about you, Kenny?
Yes, for me, I would like to make an aspiration to have another precious human life. After hearing a Buddha story shared by my wife over the festive season, this human life is like an opportunity described with the analogy of a blind turtle encountering the drifting yoke. A blind turtle, take note of the word blind, will rise to the surface of the ocean once every 100 years. And a yoke happened to be drifting on the ocean. By chance, the turtle stretched its neck right through the hole of the floating yoke. It is this rare opportunity that we met to become a human. I was contemplating this while watching Animal Planet on the difference between humans and other living beings. Being a human seems like a privilege as we are at the top of the chain and removes the worry about being hunted down as a prey, which can be seen as a lot of suffering.
Yes, becoming human is very important, but then it's not enough to have a normal human life. You need to obtain a human life of leisure and opportunities. So there are 2 parts, leisure and opportunity. The human life of opportunity have two parts as well. 5 conditions pertaining to self and 5 pertaining to others. So for the self, first, being human. Of course you have to be human, right? Next, born in an area wherein the 4 types of follower are active. 3. Having complete sensory faculties. 4. Having reversible karma. 5. Having faith in the source. And for others, first, a place that a Buddha has visited. Second, teaching is being taught. Third, the teaching remains. 4. There are people who follow it. And 5. There are people supporting your daily necessity. So you can focus on learning. And next, you need to have a human life of leisure too. There are 8 conditions. You do not have the human life of leisure if you are to be reborn with wrong views, as you do not believe in the path to happiness. 2. Without a conqueror's word, as you do not have anything to learn. 3. If you are reborn as an animal, because you do not have the ability to contemplate. 4. A hungry ghost, because you are too hungry, always trying to find food. 5. A hell being, you are constantly suffering. 6. An uncultured people in a border region. 7. A person who has difficulties in learning. Last, 8. A deity of long life, as you are too happy enjoying life. So congratulations to all of you who obtained the human life of leisure and opportunity.
Yes!
Yes,
Congratulations, everyone!
Yes, so moving on. What can we do with this precious human life, Uncle Nicky?
Oh, Ben, what a very good question. Hey, Kenny Tan.
Yes.
With this precious human life, you should continue expanding on your 5 C's, eh?
Yes, you're absolutely right. I should be chasing after the 5 C's, you know, the cash, credit card, condo, car, and my career. But no. That's the old me.
Oh.
After learning Buddhism, I should be chasing after the new 5 C's. So we have compassion, contemplation, complete teachings, constant self-reflection, and control. Having a mind that allows us to think, reflect, and innovate makes us different from beings in the hell, hungry ghosts, and animal realms. We have the ability to decide on how we can lead our lives, as well as gaining knowledge that can be transformed into wisdom. With this very precious human life, I should be steadfast in moving upwards on the path towards removing suffering and attaining happiness. It will be wise for me to focus on properly listening to the Dharma without committing to the 3 faults of listening. We can also constantly remind ourselves that having a life of leisure and opportunity is extremely precious, and it should be spent securing a better next life and eventually attain Buddhahood. How about you, JK? Really fortunate that you started learning Buddhism at such a young age. What are you going to do with this precious human life? How about the audience joining us online? Share with us in the chat.
Wow, thanks, Kenny. I'm quite glad that I'm the luckiest here to have met Buddhism at such a young age. Thank you, Venerable, for sharing about the 10 conditions of attaining life opportunity, as well as the 8 conditions to achieve life of leisure, looking at beings in the sky, the sea, and the land, and looking back at the 6 realms which we had talked about in episode 2. It is so unbelievable that I'm able to get this precious human body this lifetime. To achieve this human form, that proportion is simply a speck in a vast ocean within an astronomical figure. So having this precious human body, and now that I have heard about the precious teachings, I will want to practice the teachings accordingly and create a cause to achieve all kinds of happiness, which I see in 4 levels. The happiness of this life, of future lives, of liberation and enlightenment, as well as bringing happiness to all sentient beings. What about you, Uncle Nicky? I believe you are using your precious human life to the fullest?
Definitely I have to, as I have been promoted to become a senior citizen this year. I need to treasure the remaining time. But I have to say this, well done JK, that you always do your research before coming to class. What a great attitude. Keep up the good work. Okay, now coming back. Venerable, I really did not know that there are so many conditions to be met in order, especially for one to learn in a monastery. I will definitely treasure the online classes that BW Monastery has established for all of us to learn the Buddha's teachings step by step, which is pretty stress-free. Hey JK, Kenny Tan, and all of you watching us live, how lucky are we? Come to think of it, we already meet most of the conditions above to have a human life of leisure and opportunity, which is very rare. Let us all rejoice in the virtuous roots of ourselves, triple gems, venerables, and virtuous friends. Rejoice in the Facebook or YouTube chat. Well, Venerable, after talking so much, what is actually the benefit of being born as a human?
Okay. So, as a human, we can cultivate to achieve happiness. Being a human means we have the chance to learn and contemplate. So, why is contemplation so important? Through contemplation, we can observe ourselves and change our bad habits. Animals do not have the ability to contemplate. It's not that they do not have the ability to think, but normally for animals, they cannot learn and use the teachings. They react to things based on their emotions. But for humans, after learning, we can contemplate. We can assess the situation and not react based on how we feel. We can respond rather than react. This will help us not just in this life, but in our future lives as well. Speaking about future lives, we need to talk about one of our favorite Dharma topics, karma. Do you all know what is karma? Why is someone more fortunate than the others? Why does Kenny Tan have more money than Uncle Nicky? And why is Boy Boy so smart?
No, Venerable. Uncle Nicky is just being so humble. He probably has 6 trillion zeros in his bank account. For me, how I understood karma is like cause and effect. Let's say I gave a random stranger a tight slap today and I managed to escape fast enough. But one day along Orchard Road, the stranger spotted me from afar. What he would do is probably rush towards me and give me a slap. Basically, we get back what we asked for. As for Boy being smart, it is probably his hard work, life after life, which is viewed as intelligence in this current life. However, I believe Boy has put in a lot of constant effort, and we can aspire to be like him by planting the same seed.
Well, thank you, Kenny. With regards to venerable question, I don't really have a deep knowledge on how karma works, but I remember Uncle Nicky's children shared with me about this master. So there is this master who created extraordinary significance to the society throughout his profession. At a time when the entire world is heading towards material development and social tolerance going downwards, this master leads a group of people to take a different path and go against the flow of events. When people value the material things, this master, however, reminds everyone to pay attention to the mind and not be affected by those material things. When people are using pesticides and fertilizers, this master chooses to promote stuff that are organic and pesticide-free. Why did this master want to go against the flow? As the karma created by this group of people will bear fruit in the future, those who listen to this master are able to stay in a clean environment because that's the fruit of having others in mind. The karma will not be encountered before it is created, and it will not be damaged if it has been created. All of these are determined by our karma, not by others.
Wow. What a compassionate master who portrays the good qualities of a great teacher. Thank you for sharing. Now, how about you, Uncle Nicky?
Wow, Venerable, this time I did my research online instead of heading to the library in the olden days. I used my daughter's laptop and asked Mr. Google for help, and I saw the definition of karma. When reading up a little bit on the 10 virtuous actions, the definition of karma is that it is an action. Okay? Then it goes on stating that it can be either good or bad. Wow, I always think that the word karma is a negative word and it means only bad actions. Venerable, I would like to ask one question. When one does, maybe a few questions, when one does a bad action, will he or she in return experience something in his or her life as what Kenny Tan shared just now? Is it really true? How about one who does good? Is it considered good karma? Will one experience something good in one part of his or her life?
Okay, so to prove that, just observe your current life. You experience different types of feeling based on our karma. Karma can be both good or bad depending on our intention. There are 4 principles of karma. First, the certainty of karma. What you do, you will experience. Like now we are having this session. It's all because of our past collective karma. This will also lead to our future karma as well. Second, the magnification of karma. The collective of indicative versus states, like a poison that has been ingested. The commission of even a small sin creates in your life hereafter great fear and the terrible downfall. Second, as when grain ripens into a bounty, even the creation of a small merits leads in life hereafter to great happiness and will be immensely meaningful as well. Just like planting an apple seed, it will grow into an apple tree. It can produce about 800 apples per year. Third, not experiencing the effects of actions that you did not do. In order to get something, you have to put in the effort to plant the seed. And last, the action you have done do not perish. Once you did it, good or bad, you have to experience it unless you did something to stop it.
Oh my goodness, Venerable, the amount of good actions I have done in my life compared to the bad actions, Venerable, a little panic mode here. Is there a remedy to clear sins that I've created with the bad actions in this lifetime?
I think it's good that you are guilty of what you did in the past. You can join for our pujas, but more importantly, since you join our classes, you have the chance to learn more on how to repent using the 4 powers. Okay, so moving on. After we know about karmas, what can we do to secure a human life? So let's hear from JK.
Venerable, I already have an idea. From one of the commentary from the teachings, there is this text that says, when the deities die, the other deities say, may you have a happy rebirth. So by happy rebirth, they actually mean a human rebirth. Even deities see the human realm as even better than their own. But how can we secure a human life? I would like to bring up the point which Venerable has mentioned about karma, which is not experiencing the effects of actions that you did not do, which actually Venerable explains that in order to get something, you have to put in the effort. So it is evident that I am able to obtain this human life of leisure and opportunity through the merits and diligent hard work that has been accumulated through my previous life. Therefore, I should then feel at ease and justified that whatever that is supposed to be ours, we will not be shortchanged. Thus, what's more important is that we should strive to plant the virtuous seed in this lifetime. So maybe I can diligently accumulate the merits so as to secure another human life of leisure and opportunity again. Else this life will be like having gone to a land of jewels and returning empty-handed. As there is a phrase from engaging in the Bodhisattva deeds that says, once you have given this body wages and bonuses, you must make it act for your welfare. Do not give it everything if it does not help you. I believe Mr. Kenny has something to share about getting another human life, since he has everything in life now, which might be able to help him with his next life.
That's a very good question, JK. the first thing that came to mind is to constantly remember that karma is certain. So I must always think before doing anything. I also recall that the ing or cause for having another life of leisure and opportunity is to uphold the 5 or 8 precepts well. One way to practice is to know that planting a positive seed reaps a positive fruit and vice versa. So in order to secure another human life, I should refrain from planting negative seeds, which mostly relates to acts that can cause hurt to others. But Venerable, maybe you can share with us more about this next?
Of course, but first, Uncle Nicky, how about you?
Wow, I totally agree with what Kenny and JK have mentioned earlier. The only way to secure a human life is to first understand the concept of karma and then study it consistently and using our ability to contemplate as what Venerable mentioned earlier. I remember my teacher taught me on the example of a crocodile and a shark. A crocodile has the habit of biting anything it sees, which is the nature of a crocodile. So imagine this crocodile that sees a big shark in the sea and simply just bite it. It will definitely trigger the shark that may be way stronger or bigger, and because of this, end up losing its life. Oh Venerable, the suffering in the animal realm, what is there to say for the hungry ghost and the hell being? So, the main point of the story is to cultivate a habit of contemplation before any action. If not, you become like me, because through my life experiences, I've caused others to suffer. I am sure to face the music of karma, since action I have done do not perish. I am guilty, but not extremely worried now, as I will be learning in my class on repenting my mistake created in my past. Now, I will do my very best to contemplate on how to improve myself to prevent myself from making the same mistake that will cause bad karma. It may be hard at first because of individual habits, but one master said to think that one can be successful on the first try is foolish. So, I will 坚持到底. Plus, with a community that is built here, we'll help each other, right? JK, Kenny?
Yes, yes.
Yes, Uncle Nicky, let's stay in this community and help each other. As Venerable mentioned earlier, we can sign up for classes here to learn more on the teachings, especially on how to repent using the 4 powers. It's never too late. Right now, maybe you can hear from Venerable on the ways to secure a human life.
We need to have ethical discipline to make sure that we do not do things that will cause us suffering. For our own benefit, we may cause others to suffer now, but based on the law of karma, we are causing ourselves to suffer even more in the future. We should avoid the 10 paths of non-virtuous action. First, killing. Second, stealing. Third, sexual misconduct. 4, lying. 5, divisive speech, which consists of gossip or causing others to fight. 6, offensive speech, scold other people or say bad words. 7, senseless speech, joking around saying nonsense. And the other 3, which is about intention, greed, anger, and wrong views. So if we never kill, we will have a healthy, strong body. If we never steal, we will not lose our things easily. If we never commit to sexual misconduct, our partner will be faithful to us and we will not have family problems. If we do not lie, gossip, scold others, or say nonsense, people will take our advice and the things we say seriously. They will accept what we say and respect us. So, observe yourself. Do you think you practiced the 10 virtuous action in your past life?
Wow, Ben John. Alamak, this one, I think my forte will be senseless speech. I think I spend most of the time on this when I'm with my Kopi brothers. But Venerable, I think I have been doing most of the 10 virtuous action in my life.
Hey, hello, Uncle Nicky. Venerable just shared that lying is one of the non-virtuous action. Are you trying your luck to pull a fast one on us now?
Okay, Okay, my bad. I would sincerely repent for my actions of lying.
Well, Uncle Nicky, not everyone is willing to admit their mistakes, so keep up the good work.
Wow, Kenny Tan, very nice of you, ah. What a way to Omak. Very, very good. Rejoice to you. Alright, coming back. To answer Venerable's question, I will still need time to adapt that all beings have infinite life. Guess I need to work harder to study the teachings. But talking about this lifetime, ever since learning the teachings, my conversations with my Kopi brothers started to become more meaningful, and we started to talk more about the teachings, reducing the amount of censored speech. Hopefully, I'm able to bring my Kopi friends over to learn the teachings together. At the same time, advising them to reduce the amount of divisive and offensive speech. Venerable, may I know what is the negative effect of one who continues to make such speech besides not taking our words seriously?
That's a very good question. We have to be very mindful when we are making a conversation. As for one who always gossip, one will experience loss of friendship and you will not be able to get along with others. While using harsh words, one will hear unpleasant words from other people. Therefore, one has to be aware of one's speech. So remember, JK, the youngest one here, remember to be mindful of your words and not to be influenced by others. Okay?
Roger that, Venerable. I will be mindful of my words and not be influenced by others. Being able to meet the teachings, BW Monastery, Van John and my virtuous friends Uncle Nicky and Kenny, I believe I must have practiced the 10 virtuous actions in my past life to be able to participate in this VenTalk session right now. Let me ask the viewers watching this show right now, do you agree with me, audience? Feel free to leave in the comment section. So back to the question. If I'm able to further enhance these 10 virtuous actions in this life and life after life, probably one day I could be like Buddha. Remembering the last episode where Venerable shared with us about Buddha's good qualities? So do scan the QR code to find out more.
Wow,
So-
JK, your memory bank is really impressive. Looking at my current life, which is often said to be a reflection of our past life, I believe that most of the scary, non-virtuous actions were not committed. Killing, stealing, sexual misconduct, and divisive speech can cause real hurt to others. Sometimes we lie, have anger, offensive speech, and censored speech, but these are really, really tough ones to avoid. Sometimes when we are at work, it's quite hard to avoid smoking our way through customers or cracking jokes to ease the situation. However, I tend to minimize such non-virtuous actions when I'm outside of the environment. So I would definitely say that, the environment we are in plays a very big part in influencing our behavior. I think for me, greed comes naturally in terms of searching for good food, so I should be more mindful about this. The last one would be wrong views. Definitely sound like the most prominent one for me. I think it's hard for me to know what I don't know, but I'm grateful to have met the Buddha's teaching. For it does not force ideas on me, and it encourages me to question and constantly contemplate deeper on Buddha's wisdom. I'm glad that people around us serve as a mirror to look inwards towards us and know what is going on in our mind stream, and we can then apply the right views learned through listening to the Dharma.
Yes, Kenny. You are so lucky to be in a virtuous environment with all of us, so do not give up. Thank you for joining us in having such a great discussion to start off the year 2022. So, after talking about karma, how can we live a meaningful life? So, what now? See you all in the next episode.
Thank you, Venerable.